Lethbridge and other places. So if you came here, then you really want to know, why did I come here? Okay, why did I come here? So is there an important reason why I came here? Those are some of the things we are going to try to help you to understand. And so the things I'll be doing in this lecture, here are the outline. Okay? We will start with what I call motto in life. It's not a motto in your vehicle. Okay, I'm going to explain what motto means. Motto in life. We'll be explaining some key terms. And mind you, writing it down is very important, and also I'll post the notes after the class, and so you can compare and see what you wrote. Motto in life, brief terms, and then we'll be looking at a brief history of all the universities in the Western world, in the USA, Canada, Europe. What was the history behind the setting up of universities? And then we will look at Alberta. AB means Alberta. Alberta, we take 2 samples of universities in Alberta. The 2 big ones. University of Alberta, University of Calgary. And then we would talk about them, about how they also frame their mission, vision, and core values. And then we'll come back to ask the question, so why is it important to have a Christian university? If all the universities are there, why should we have a Christian university? And finally, we'll ask the question, how and why to live by the Burman mission, vision, and core values. So those are the things we'll be doing. Okay? I just remember that I didn't get a time to introduce myself well to you, but last week I'm the Vice President for Academic Administration. What that means is that all your teachers and me, so I work with them and look at all the programs. Okay, a brief maybe note about me. I was born in Ghana. Ghana is in West Africa. Okay, I grew up there, so I did my undergraduate degree just like you are doing now. And then, long time ago, I moved to Ontario. Okay, I went there to do my master's at the University of Guelph, if anybody's from Guelph. And then from there, I moved to Edmonton, University of Alberta, to do my PhD there. I taught there, I worked there for 4 years, and then I moved here. I moved back home here about 22 years ago now. Okay, so, and I'm a biologist by training, and so I teach anatomy, physiology, ecology, all those things. That's what I teach. I stopped teaching around 2016. So those are the things, okay? Motto in life. Let's go. Then we're going to, as I said, this class, you won't come here to just sit down forever. You get something to do. And so I'm going to start with something interesting. When we say motto, okay, we actually define it this way. It's a short sentence or a short phrase that we choose to represent our values or our beliefs. Okay? So I can have my own individual motto. Some families have got their own family motto. And then universities or institutions also have got their own motto. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few examples, and then I will give you a chance to share with your neighbor. Okay? So you can say that maybe a personal motto. People say that, well, my motto is to be the best. Okay? So if you have that motto, wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever life you lead, you want to be the best. So that's a good example. Okay? Somebody will say that, well, my motto is don't sweat over small stuff. That's a good one. You know, because this world is difficult. So if you're going to be sweating over everything, all your sweat will pour out. Okay? And so those are some of the examples. I like somebody's personal motto is that always find something to laugh at. Okay? Don't be so serious. You know, start to smile and relax your face and be happy. That's one. Again, I have family examples. I know some families whose motto will be, well, family first. They care about each other so much that they come first before their friends, okay? And then I've heard this before, some families will say that, well, together we stand. So we work together. And the father and the mother and the kids, they're all working together, okay? And so maybe you are here today, you don't have a personal motto, that's fine, okay? You can simply tell your partner, the next person sitting with you that, oh, that's interesting, I haven't thought about it. There's no shame in this. Yes, I haven't thought about it. Can you share yours with me? Or you can say, so this is what we're going to do. This is a sharing time. What is your personal motto? And what is your family's motto? Two things, two questions. So, you can share with choose someone next to you, and let's use a few minutes to share. And then once we finish, I'll ask for 2 volunteers, one personal and then one family to share with us. Let's go, let's get to work. Make sure you understand what. Remember, why am I doing this? Because we said we are going to have Burman's. Sorry, the skills were not working now. They're working now, right? Yes. And next time I do this, I'll go around and say, I don't want anybody to be an island. You have to talk with someone, okay? If the pairs are not working well, you can do in threes, okay? All right. So, the reason we are doing this is that we are going to build a case that every institution has got a motto. And that motto, definitely they divide into mission, vision, and core values. So that's why we want to stand for ourselves. So I saw some of you are very happy. Let's take one from this side. Who will share a personal motto? Yes, please.
It goes, do your best, and He, as in God, will do the rest.
Perfect. Do your best. Amen. Amen. That's good. That's a good one. Very good personal. So don't give up. Just do your best. Okay, this side. Let's take someone from. That's a very touchy one. What's your family's motto? If you have anyone. Family motto. Yes. Now this year is not working very well. I'm not feeling well, so you have to find a way, maybe remove that for a moment.
Health is well.
Somebody
Health is wealth.
Health is wealth.
Well, at least that's what I know.
That's what he said. That's very good. Health, for their family, health is wealth. That's very beautiful. You know, some people count the dollars, the money at the bank. But for them, when they are healthy, they think they are rich. That's very beautiful. And so keep yours, you know, you can steal from others and build your own. Very, very important. You know, that somebody said, excellence, but not perfection. You know, all those are very, very important. So we see that we have individual mottos, and then we have family mottos. Maybe let's take one from the middle here, so we don't cheat them. Yes?
Family or personal?
Other one.
Okay. In everything you do it with love.
In everything you do what?
Do it with love.
Do it with love. That's beautiful. Yes. Last one.
My family's motto,
Family.
if they had one, would probably be never be on time.
That's my all right, we're coming to you. So let's go into that one. That's very beautiful. Whatever you do with love. Very important. Love passes everything. Yeah. So love people. Now let's come to yours. It's an interesting one. If your family had one, they would say what?
Never be on time.
Never be on time.
Never be on time.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Which country are you from? Where are your parents from?
Barbados and Trinidad.
Barbados, just like Africa. We say that, that's why we call African punctuality. They're always late. They're always late. But I like that. But I think maybe you can sit down with the family and say that let's change the narrative. We are from Barbados, but we want to change the narrative because I'm going to North America where time is money. And And so you're not going to be late to church, you're not going to be late to work, you're not going to be late to... I mean, some certain things you can be late, you know, birthday party, you are late, they finish eating before you get there, that's okay, right? Anyway, very good. So we are building a castle now. Now we are going to see institutional models. Because our definition says a short sentence or a phrase that encapsulates whatever you believe in or what you stand for, your ideals. Okay? And it can be individual, it can be family, and it can be institution. Let's go and take institutional ones. So what I'm going to do, institution could be workplace, but because we are in the university, I'm going to pick examples from universities. Okay? So just as individual and family have models, institutions or universities and colleges also have got models. Now what is interesting is that in the university ones, they write their models in Latin. That's interesting. By and large, all the universities in the world, they tend to write them in Latin. Burman has got theirs, ours in English, but by and large, they write them in Latin. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, for a long time, the tradition of the universities were, you know, Latin was a very big language, and so the tradition, formality, and then some of the historical roots, they wrote these things in Latin. That's one reason. Second reason is that, as you're going to see some of them, the Latin, when you write them in Latin, it actually makes you, you know, be in the elite group, you know, almost like a university special, right? So we are not going to write things in a common man's language. And so we're going to see all these examples. So here's our first example. Yale. The big university, where is it found? Who knows? Big, huge university. In the US, I think it's in Connecticut. Okay? Yale. Looks Emeritus. I don't know whether I'm even saying it well. It means, for that university, they say light and truth. Okay? Light and truth. And so, okay, light and truth. Okay, so that's one example. A very brief statement, but it's very, very strong. Or if you come to that university, light and truth. Here's another one, Harvard. How many of you have heard about Harvard? So it's a big school in the US, okay? Harvard is in Massachusetts, in the US. Theirs is very simple, truth. But they write it in Latin, veritas, okay? Truth. Here's another one. I'm just using the big universities in the world. Princeton, okay? Princeton. Who knows where it is? Also in the US, in New Jersey, right? Theirs is long, you know. They sub numin vigor. Under God's power, she flourishes. These are all public universities. And look at how they are saying things in Latin, okay? And so we are building a case. Slowly we'll get to Burman. Oxford, where is that found? UK. Big university. Dominus illuminatio mea. The Lord is my light. These are all public. Some people call them public schools or maybe secular universities, but you can see that their motto are all built around something. So keep that in mind. Very soon I will tell you one exam question that you can answer in the midterm. So you write it down and then you do well. Okay? Oxford. Here's another one. Columbia. Also in the US. Columbia University is in New York. Okay? In lumin tuo pedinus lumen. In your light we shall see light. It's so beautiful. In God's light, they will see light. Okay? And so I'm going to add maybe one or two more. Maybe the last one. Stanford. Who speaks German here? They decided they would do this in German instead of Latin. So they or die looked the freight wings. The wings of freedom blow. Okay? Very beautiful. So, these are examples of model of the big universities of the world. I'm going to give you a hint. Pay particular attention to two common threads, two common things in all these models, even though they are secular universities. I'll ask you for the answer later on. And that question could be on the midterm. Two particular threads or two particular features about these these institutional models. Think about it, and then maybe I would like to do with your partner later on, and then you tell me the answer. So, we've seen individual model, family models, we've seen institutional models. So let's come back and ask the question, why is this topic so important? You know, I started a story that we have existential problems, the whole world problems. We have our problems as students. We have our problems as families who want us to do well and society. But we come here. So why is this topic important? I think I have two reasons why I think this topic is important. First one, from what we have done so far, we see that Burman is a family. Once you come here, okay, to study, you become a family of Burman. The university I went to in my undergraduate, it was called University of Science and Technology. And so I was a family of that. I went to University of Guelph, I was a family of Guelph. I went to UOB in Edmonton, I was a family of UOB. Because when you finish school, they will chase you, bring us money. Right? And they know you are working, give us donation, give us donation. So you're a family. So Burman is a family, like your own family. Therefore, knowing Burman's family model and learning them and then to live by it will make you a happy member of the family. Right? I like what my brother said here. If they had one, they would say, we don't care about time, we're always late, that's okay. They have fun with that. Okay? And so, when you come to Burman, you have to know what Burman stands for and then live by that. That's my first reason, I think, why we think this is very important. The second one is knowing what Burman stands for would actually benefit you in your success journey here and beyond. If you want to that university that talk about truth, you know, they always want to know the truth. That talk about light and God and stuff like that. Okay? Alright. So far, we've been dealing with one term, that is model. Now you will see that as you go to the universities, they actually go beyond model and have other terms. And so there are three other terms that was in the title of the lecture for today. And those are the key terms we are going to try to study. And then we'll build the case and come to Burman and find what it means and then see how we can apply it. So, first what we learned here was what? Model. A phrase, a short sentence that talks about my ideals, my beliefs. Okay? The next one is mission. All these universities have got mission. It's very simple. The mission simply is the purpose. So what is the purpose of Burman? Why does it exist? The purpose. You can have your own purpose also. You can have your own personal mission statement. Okay? Mission. I like that one. Our wealth is our health. That's our mission. Okay? So it defines your purpose. Purpose. And then simply the fundamental purpose and the current function. Right now, what is Burman doing? What is our purpose? And then the second one that we use is vision. Okay? Vision. Future. Okay? So every school has what they want to achieve now, and then the vision extends your mission to an ideal future stage. Okay? So in future, what we want to do, and so you are our future. And so when we say our vision, we want to tell you what we want to see you do in future. Okay? So it describes the long-term aspirations of the future stage. And then finally, we have what we call core values, fundamental beliefs, and guiding principles that shape the mission and vision. Okay? So every individual has that. Okay? I want my freedom. I want my space. I like to eat apples. Okay? Someone said I like bananas. We all have our own individual ones. But here we are trying to build this case that it is important. And in fact, when we have that, it becomes, these three things drive the decisions of the university. Okay? If you tell you the mission of the university, the vision of the university, core values, they drive things like the decisions. They drive things like the actions. They drive things like the culture of the place. Okay? So so far, 4 terms. We haven't gone too far. Motto, mission, vision, and core values. Okay? All right. So, we are here to talk about Burman University mission, vision, and core values, but we're just making the big story before we come to Burman. Okay? And so our next one is to review a brief history of all the universities in the West. Canada, US, Europe. How did they start? How did they start? Okay? The first statement we'll make is that Western higher education was the child of religion. Who can explain that in your own words? Western higher education was the child of religion.
A lot of universities have like roots in Christianity or some sort of religion.
Exactly. All the universities have got roots in some form of religion. That's a point you don't have to forget. And so you go to somebody who says, I'm going to U of A, I'm going to McGill, I'm going to U of T. All those are good. But remember that they all have religious roots. Okay? All have religious roots. In fact, some of the big ones that we said, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia, all have religious roots. All of them. Okay? All of them. In fact, we're going to give you a few examples. In the US, even before the Civil War, which is a long time ago, it was 1776, even before the 1700s, universities were founded by churches. In fact, before 1700 in the US, 49 universities were founded by Presbyterians. I don't know if anybody is Presbyterian yet. Okay? 34 universities were founded by Methodists. 25 by Baptists, and 21 by groups that we call Congregationalists. So this is a big deal that all the universities, Canada, US, Europe, you go everywhere, they all have these religious roots. Okay? What's interesting is that nowadays, and this is a breaking point for us, nowadays, some of them, but most of them, don't have anything to do with religion. So remember that, right? They all started that way. In fact, if you go to U of A now, it's not a Christian university. It's not a religious university. The only small fragment we have is a small college inside U of A that is called St. Joseph's Seminary. They train priests and stuff like that. A small place. Okay? All the rest. And so somebody actually has coined a term that the universities that we have now are actually, so we have this term, university, right? Uni. So the same mission. But nowadays some people want to call the big ones as multi-versities. Okay? That means that almost all the different departments do their own different thing. It's a term that somebody wants to refer because of the fact that nowadays, most of the big ones don't remember their roots anymore. Okay? Except there are a few big ones like Geneva College, Taylor University, Wheaton College. Those big ones are in the States that are Christian. But, okay? And so, the church and the universities were intertwined. So we're just going to do one funny example here. So, we are talking about universities. What has Beaver got to do with that? I'm going to give one example. And this example is to illustrate to you that the church, religion, and universities were intertwined. So here's the story. Long time ago, in France, Paris, let's get a volunteer to read who has a preacher's voice, who can read the whole thing to us. Who wants to volunteer? Where are the guys? Where are your big voices? Who wants to read this? Yes, go ahead. Try to read it loud so that the next line can hear you.
In respect to the beaver's tail, he is a perfect fish, and has been judicially declared such by the College of Physicians at Paris, and the Faculty of Divinity at, in consequence of this declaration, pronounced it lawful to be eaten on days of fasting.
Thank you. So in the Roman Catholic tradition, they have what they call the Lent. I think there's a month I think before Easter that they don't eat meat, but you can eat fish, right? And so that's the tradition then. And the College of Physicians, that is the College of Doctors, that's the university, the medical school, okay? And then the priests got together and decided that, oh, look at the beaver. You know, it's a mammal. You know, it lives on both land and water. Look at the tail. The tail makes it look like a fish. And so from today on, we proclaim beaver is a fish. And so you can eat it during the Lent. That's beautiful, right? So that tells you that, you know, at a point in time, the universities and the church were friends. They were very, very close together. Okay? All right, so that's what I wanted to show you. Keep that point in mind. I'm going to go on to show you two other examples, and then I'll ask that important question that I left. Okay? So let's come back to province of Alberta. These are long sentences. I only focus on all of them. Now let's see my alma mater. That's where I went. Okay? Look at the motto sitting on the corner here. It's written in what? Latin. Okay? Vera. Whatsoever things are true. Where do you think that is coming from? Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are honest. Who knows where that is? Yes.
Biblical reference.
It's a biblical reference. Who knows where it is? It's found in the Bible. Yes. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. That is University of Alberta. It's not a Christian school. And so what is it telling us? It has a Christian root. When they started a long time ago, 1905, there was that relationship between faith and now it's not like that, but the truth is still there. So in their vision, they want us to discover, disseminate, and apply new knowledge through teaching, learning, research, creative activity, community involvement, and the rest. That's their mission now. Again, mission means what they believe in now. Okay? For their future, like those of us who went there, they want us to inspire the human spirit by doing public good. Okay? So that's beautiful. Okay? That is the motto. Pecum Ibera. Whatsoever things are true. Who would have thought that it is a public university? But it tells you the roots are still there. Okay? And so wherever you go, you can express your faith, you can express yourself, and stuff like that. Let's take another example from Alberta here, our second largest university. That is U of C. Okay? Like that. That's their motto. And that one is a long thing to say. So, Mohulo Tobom Susus. Okay? And translate, I will lift up my eyes. Where is that coming from?
Bible.
The Bible. Who knows where it is? Psalms. Which one? 121. University of Calgary. It's a public school. It's a secular university. But look at where it's coming from. It said they will lift up their eyes to the hill. Where comes their help? Their help is from the Lord. So there was no shame in the beginning, you know. And so, if you go to campus, you know, there are maybe a small chapels here and there. You can express your faith in different ways. And then their mission is they focus on creating, contributing, research, and then their core values. I forgot to put their vision here. Their core values includes, you know, they want you to be authentic, real, inclusivity, diversity, critical thinking, collaboration, and community. Here is a question that you need to answer. Write it down in your notes, mark it, because we may ask you in the midterm. Here's the question. If I should ask you in an exam to outline 2 common features of university mottos, what will your answer be? I'm going to repeat. And I'll ask you to go and work in group, and then I'll take a volunteer to give us the answer. If I should ask you in an exam to outline 2 common features of university mottos, what will your answer be? So turn to your partner, think about the answer, and let's see who can volunteer for us. Make sure you work with someone. Make sure I want to hear the topic. One here, one there. Far corners, very far corners. So that section. Any volunteer? That section, yes. Yeah, try and read it loud so I can also hear.
They're written in Latin?
Oh, they are written in Latin. Very good. By and large, they're written in Latin, and you see, in the exam, that's the correct answer. I can give you maybe 4.5 or 5 or 5.5. Or somebody who said that, okay, they are written in Latin, and here's why. Okay, here's why. Because Latin was the order of the day. It was very nice. It sets you apart for you to become. If you write an answer like that, I give you a bonus mark. You see? So you got 5/5, and then somebody get 5.5, or you can get 6 out of 5. Okay? That's how you write the exam. You get the answer, but try to put a little flesh to it. Okay? Beautiful answer. Okay, if we are going to go to the other corner, okay, this side, what is the second answer?
Wait, so Professor, do you think that they used Latin because it was the religious language at the time?
Yes, Latin was the dominant language in the world.
And then like they used Latin because they wanted to like make the model even more religious. Because like the thread that ties all of them together kind of.
I'm trying to hear you.
Like all the models talk about God, so like they use Latin to kind of emphasize that.
Can someone expand that for me, because I'm not hearing the word.
Sorry. Like they use Latin because all the models, like the thread that ties them together, is that they're talking about God, and Latin is like the religious language.
Oh, so you are talking about a different point.
No, the same point.
Still Latin.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah, so the church at that time and the culture at that time, Latin was dominant. And I'm saying that when you don't just simply say that one answer is Latin. Try and add some of the key points they are adding to get more points, to get bonus points, right? What is the second one? What is the second main answer you add? So Latin is correct with the explanation. What is the second one? What is the second common feature? I wanted to go to the sides. I'll come to the middle. Go to the side. Okay, what do you say?
A lot
I'm not hearing that.
A lot of the themes had to do with light and looking up towards the sky because we associate God with up above in heaven.
That's good. That's good. That's the answer I'm looking for. So in essence, almost all of them had historical roots in religion. That's the answer I'm looking for. And so when you write that, you get your 5 out of 5. But if you want to get a bonus mark, you cite examples. Okay? You want to get a bonus mark? That's why you have your notes. You can say that maybe one of them said truth. One of them said light. One of them said whatsoever is true. One of them said I lift up my eyes. That's how you write exam. You write exam to get more marks. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
Let's go to the middle. You have another one?
No. When we write the examples, we have to write the name of the.
You don't have to. No. In the exam, I'm not expecting you to write Princeton. They said this. No. I am expecting you to relate to all the discussions we've had. Some school said light. Some school said knowledge is power. Some school was. Your answer has to be correct, right? Some school said, but don't remember to quote the school. All right. So it's 5 o'clock now. We have 35 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes break. Then you check your form or whatever, and then 5:05 to continue, and then 5 will get it. I'll make sure I'll leave you lots of time at the end. Okay? Because for today, our attendance, what Teresa has done is she has paired up your name with a number. Okay? So she will show you your name and your number, and then you pick one of them. Maybe on Thursday you can drop your number in the basket. You will do that. And then also some of you are asking about quizzes. You know, we just started, so we are all catching up. So after every class, she will write a quiz and post on YouTube. So the quiz you do it, but we don't write a quiz inside here. Okay, so don't worry. She will post it, and then she will tell you the time she's giving you. You go in and do, and then you will see your marks right away. That sort of thing. Okay. So I'm going to try to rush to the end, so you get a time to do pick your name, and if you have questions, I will stand here and answer them for you. And then those of you who are international students, there's going to be a little opening today in our big building there, international office there. We're going to have a little supper and then give you a little introduction. You should only come when you are an international student. If you are not international, don't come. Okay? It's for international students. All right. So far, what we have said is that we have personal, we have family, we have institutional. We've given examples of institutional. Okay? So we are asking our questions. The question is that, okay, if all the universities started as religious institutions anyway, why do we have Christian university like Burman? Why? So I'm going to try to give you 2 answers, and that to say that it's really important. The first one is that, having said what we have said, Christian universities therefore are not all. They are important anyway, because after all the big ones started that way. Okay? And then some of them unfortunately have moved their way to multi-university. Some of them don't even have anything religious on campus anymore. Okay? So it's important. Even though it's important, there are a few things that I'm going to point out. It's important for us to have Christian or religious universities, but we should not fall into what we call a pitfall. Okay? I'm going to take my time to explain that. One reason is that some people think that Christian university like Burman simply offer good education plus a few Bible studies in an atmosphere of piety. We are holy, that's why we know. Some people think that way, but don't fall into that pit. Okay? Second one, some people think that Burman only train people for church vocations. In fact, I've heard that story. If I go to Ontario and other places, people will say that Burman only trained pastors and teachers. That's partially true. Okay? We train people who want to become doctors. My daughter is a lawyer. She came through here. We train people, my son is a nurse. He came through here. So people, different vocations can go through here. The next one, I want to emphasize, people say that we have Christian university because young people, we have to protect young people against sin and heresy in other universities. Okay? Again, that is partially true. Why is that partially true? Because sin is everywhere. Right? And so you can be in a Christian protected environment and still be doing bad things. You can be out there in a public university and still maintain your relationship with your God. Okay? So that's really not true alone that when we come here we are protecting you and then there's falsehood elsewhere. No, there's truth also everywhere. Okay? And then some people think, well, I want to go to Christian university because I want to focus on a small social and extracurricular alone. Especially people say, well, I'll get a Christian to marry. That is true, but it's not entirely true. Right? So don't fall into this pitfall. These are not the main reasons. So I'm saying that Christian universities are more than each of the above alone. Okay? Some of these are partially true. The Christian university, as you're going to see with Burman, is that we look at the whole person. The whole person. Okay? So finally, let's do Burman University. Okay? So the reason why we are called Burman is because of this couple, Charles and Leonard Burman. Okay? A long time ago, they sacrificed and set up this school. And so we named the school after them. So we're going to quickly go through Burman's vision, mission, and core values. And then we will do the other housekeeping. So, what did we say about mission? Who remembers what does mission imply? Purpose. Purpose. Now. Purpose. Now. Excellent. And so, Burman's mission, again, if you are taking notes, you see there are spots here. So Burman's mission is, our purpose is, when you come here, transform lives through whole person education and service. Burman University will educate students. Again, there are 3 key words that even when you sleep and we wake you up, you should be able to say. Even when you are sleeping and your friend says, wake up. You wake up, you should be able to say those 3 key words in Burman's purpose. Okay? So, Burman would educate students to, who can help? The first one?
Think.
To think. So we do that in all the other schools. You go to UOB, your friends who go to UOB, they are going to think. Okay? Here we are trying to show you the difference. They're going to think, you study biology, they study biology, you study art, they study art, you study education, they do the same. But no, we don't stop there. To think with discernment, you look through. And then who knows the next word? Believe. To believe with insight and commitment. Okay? And then we don't even stop there. We don't stop there. So we help you to think, we help you to believe. And then finally, who can tell me the last one? Yes?
Act.
Act. Excellent. To act with confidence. Wherever you go, you act with confidence. And this word is very important. We need this word in this world. Compassion. So when you're a graduate of Burman, you treat people with compassion, and then you are very competent with what you do. That's Burman. That's our mission. Okay? To help you to think with discernment, to believe with insight and commitment, and to act with confidence, compassion, and competence. That's the beauty of this school. Because that's what we want for you right now. Okay? Those of you writing out, I can come back and show you, but let me just follow on. Because I want to finish in good time so that Tessa can do the listen attendance. Okay? Then our vision. What do we say about vision? Vision is future. Okay? The purpose, the mission is now. And this is what we are hoping for you. By the time you finish Burman, we hope that we have given you a transformational university experience. Something that has transformed you. You can look back and say, oh, 4 years ago, I was so timid. But by God's grace, I have changed. Now I'm able to. So you have that experience, and then we empower you to serve others. As you will find in our last lecture of this course, service. To serve others. All your life will be service. And then to share hope. You meet people who have gone to different schools, who have finished and have their degree, but because the whole purpose was thinking alone, you'll be able to help them that, hey, there's hope. Okay? Even though you went to this interview and you were not selected, there is hope. You will share hope. Okay? And so, I'm just going to go on and share it with the core values. We also have 5 core values. Okay? And so again, that one is excellence. When you are here, everything we do, when you finish, we want you to. So just write the keywords down. You can't write all the sentences now because of time. Excellence. Okay? And then the next one is service. Just write the keywords. Excellence. Service. And you're going to have the notes posted for you. And then the next one is spirituality. This one is very important. I know some of you are Christians, some of you are non-Christians, some of you are Adventists, some of you are non-Adventists. Wherever you find yourself now, we want to try to help you to nurture your spirituality. But this world is complex. Okay? And then integrity. Be truthful in everything you do. And then last one is community. Burman is a family community. Okay? So, I rushed through this. I'm going to go to my last slide to answer the question for you. So, these are hard stuff. Mission, vision, and core values. The core values are 5. E, excellence. S, service. S, spirituality. I, integrity. And then C is community. And so, let me help you to answer this question. How do I do it? Or someone said, why do I need to know the Burman's motto, whatever? And my answer is that a good family member lives by the family motto. Very important. If you are going to be a member of this family, you should know. Then you ask me a question, so how can I live by this? Well, I say, learn them. Know them. Remember them. Apply them. I have to learn them because I've memorized all the core values. There are 5. Easy. I have a mnemonic. I call it ESSIC. E-S-S-I-C. I can anywhere I go, I can remember the mission. I remember the 3 keywords: think, believe, and act. And then the vision, that transformational experience. So know them, learn them, remember them. Is it easy? I said no. It's not easy. To apply them, it's not easy. When a student comes to my office and they are in tears and say, well, I'm failing this class, they can throw me out. What word comes to my mind? Compassion. Have compassion on the student. Have compassion, and then we talk. So it's not easy, but there's a text in the Bible that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it's found in Philippians 4:13. Excellent. Very good class. You can do all things through, it's not easy. Okay? And so the last one I have for you is everything you do on this campus, use positive attitude and inner motivation. Okay? Class is hard, but take your time, you can do it. And then find a friend who becomes your accountability partner. You know, when I oversleep, that'll wake me up. Okay, when I'm down, I can confide in you. Let's go and play sports together. Okay, so it's 5:18. We still have time. So Tessa, you want to come up here or?